I was all happy because something happened, and I went bong in the middle of
No,
that. Hi, everybody. Hey,
what's up,
everybody?
welcome to Tuesday. I know it's been Tuesday for hours now, but this is the only part of the Tuesday that really matters. I'm going to lay two truths on you at the very beginning. One, at the very top, hackers suck. We hate hackers.
Yes.
Because if your
And
job
AI.
is to just make your life miserable, you suck as a person. Sorry, you're a waste of DNA. You shouldn't even exist. Go
Yes.
go find something else to do. Leave us and our 620 followers alone. Go away. We hate you from the depths of our heart. We hate you. That being said,
Yes.
there's a reason why we're not broadcasting normally on our Facebook channel because hackers suck. But I did figure out at the last moment, hey, I could broadcast this to my River Valley Paranormal, but that I go to more people because I got like 6,000 people on there. But doesn't matter. I wanted to broadcast from A.M.O.K. I wanted to keep this separate from the team. And number two, a big truth that affects more than our followers. I want you to know this, and this is the truth. You can Google it. You can look it up. You can go do all kinds of things. You can the absolute truth. We get no gas from Iran. Any gas prices increase has nothing to do with what's going on. We get no fuel, no energy from Iran. Screw
This
them.
is something that's
Like
been
a
going
hacker.
on for over 40 years, guys.
Yeah. So every time the gas prices go up and they say, well, Iran, we get no gas from that. And now they don't have a navy, so they can't stop any ships going through the Strait of Hormuz. Anyhow, that being said, so much for my politics. I'm getting off of that boat. But hackers suck. We love you guys. I hope you join us.
AI
on YouTube.
operating businesses suck too.
Suck. AI sucks, but that's gonna be. I'm sorry, but that's the future. We can't do anything about that. It's
I know, but
everything.
to run a
Sorry,
business
you
with
will be
AI without an
replaced.
actual person, fucking.
We are not
sorry.
AI. We're not AI. Shame on you.
Tonight's special password is suck.
Suck.
Don't tell
I'm
nobody.
just gonna shut up now.
Anyhow,
I had to
Woo!
do that.
on with our regularly scheduled programming.
Adrian is in the house tonight.
Spicy.
Let's do a rewind.
Anyhow.
Okay. Happy A.M.O.K. Day.
No. Happy A.M.O.K. Day. I had to get that off my chest. We're good.
Woo!
I
feel
feel better.
Oh, wait.
We've all been complaining. Yeah, it's awful.
We got what? You said something about going somewhere. You did something. What? Just before we come on the show.
Who?
Or are you going somewhere?
Who?
And I'm talking to you specifically.
No. I'm going somewhere at the end of the month. Obscura.
End of the month. Okay.
Yes, at the end of the month.
I never get to go anywhere.
Going to be up in.
You're going to Scotland. Don't talk to us about
I'm going to Scotland. No, I'm going
to the UK.
I'm going to DeKalb, Illinois.
That's true. You're going to the
DeKalb. Yeah,
that's
DeKalb.
That's a corn place.
Corn
capital of Illinois.
Truly, it is corn.
That is corn.
It's the same place, right?
Yeah, my brother is born for him.
Yeah.
I'll be in Enid on the 21st with Border Town at Odd, Oklahoma, and the Haunted Objects Live podcast show. Haunted Objects podcast live show. Said it backwards. So yay! It'll be fun.
I will have my grandbaby and my kiddo up that week.
Cool.
I'll probably be sleeping on my couch.
Preparing to go to Scotland.
I'm going to England. I'll stop in Ireland and Scotland and all the other places. So Scotland's just a small part of it.
He's going to look for whales
this weekend. He's going to dinner in Spirits for his birthday.
I am going.
That's right.
Someplace Saturday night. You are correct. I'm going up to.
That was Beth. I said it.
Thank you, Beth. The oddity. I can't see you, Beth, but thank you. I'm going to bring your name up in a moment, though. Anyway, yeah, we're going to in a moment after I quit stuttering. Yes, I'm going up to the Oddities Museum with 4 friends. Beth will go too. She hasn't told me yet. But we're going to go talk about, or we're going to go dinner lecture rather, and it's going to be about H.H. Holmes. So it should be rather interesting.
That'll be cool.
Yep. I will fill everybody in sometime.
And can you tell Ken happy birthday early?
Happy birthday early, Ken.
Celebrating since the last week.
Nothing wrong with that.
No, my daughter's like, no, you can't start until your birthday. I said, oh, it's too late. I've already started about a week and a half ago. So
makes me want cake.
Cake? I don't know. I can probably do pie. Let's go with pie for me.
I've got the little
pumpkin
deep fried
pie.
I got the deep fried chocolate pies downstairs. Yeah, every diabetic needs those.
I can imagine. Hope you feel better.
We got
guests.
I'm talking. We do have a guest.
We got a guest.
We do.
He said
we have an amazing guest.
We have an amazing guest.
Is he amazing? Really? We're gonna have to prove it to me. Yeah.
All right.
It says the name is Bob Anderson. I was thinking that Bob Anderson, isn't that a country guy? But no, that's Bill Anderson, and he's long gone, I think. Whispering Bill Anderson. This is not him. This is Bob Anderson.
He's going to come in singing Jethro Tull.
That's John Anderson.
John Anderson was way after Whispering Bill Anderson. John Anderson would be cool. But I don't think he's not dead though, is he? I don't think John.
I'm a swinging.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's me.
Yeah. But Bob Anderson, we know, is not dead because
he's right here.
I can see him in the green room and he's moving. If he's dead, that would be really awesome.
Back there like this, right?
It's like a real-time EVP session.
On my show.
Let's say, Bob, can you hear us now?
Bob Anderson. He is.
Oh, hey there, everybody.
Hi.
Hi.
You read this, Adrian. My God, I've been ready and waiting.
It took me hours to write my biography.
I tell you, and it's a good one, Bob. May I interrupt for a moment?
Please.
Okay, Bob. No matter forward or backward, it's Bob. And it's Bob Anderson. He's the host of Bob After Dark, a paranormal podcast and radio show. Oops, almost went away. He reaches legends. No, try again. He researches, close, legends, lore, and the supernatural. Kind of like those guys you see on TV, but with a sense of humor. Let's give it up for Bob. Woo! Hi, Bob. Now you can drop the mic.
You're Bob After Dark. What do you like? What are you in the daytime?
Just Bob. Bob the chess player. Bob the chess player.
There you go.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
I do have a question.
Professional?
Already?
Oh my God, here she goes. Watch out.
Already.
Uh-oh. Here we go. Question.
So, Bob After Dark, you spent your professional life as an entertainer. How did those earlier experiences shape the way you approach hosting a paranormal podcast?
Okay, so I actually spent my time in college and in high school as somebody who didn't want to study anything, but I realized I had to do something with my life. And I started talking. There's a movie, Thank You for Smoking. I don't know if you guys have ever seen it. It's a brilliant movie. But there's a line in Thank You for Smoking where they say Michael Jordan plays basketball, Charles Manson kills people, and I talk. That's like that's me in a nutshell. I realized I was really good at talking, and I realized that there's only a few routes in the world you can go as somebody who likes to talk and entertain. So I went to film school and wasted 4.5 years of my life. I joke, of course. I'm very cynical about it. And when I was in film school, I studied cinematography and camera work, and then eventually somehow I ended up in front of the camera doing like stage performance, stand-up comedy, poetry slams, spoken word, and I was really into it, right? And that's just kind of how life happened. And then Facebook Live became a thing, And when Facebook Live became a thing, I was like, I could like talk to people all the time now. People could listen to me. And it's not just like random people on stage. People across the world could listen to me now. So I did this Facebook Live thing. Yeah, I did this Facebook Live thing called Bob After Dark. And people started watching it weekly as a joke. Like I did it as a joke at beginning, and then people started asking me for more and more content. So I ended up started doing a weekly show where I talked about like nerdy topics. And then somehow that turned into me getting a radio deal at the local radio station. But they're like, you can't do the nerdy thing. You gotta figure it out, because half my show is me just saying hi to people that would join my chat. And obviously you can't do that in radio. So I had a couple options here. I was like, well, I have a face for radio, so I might as well stick to that for a minute. And I know ghosts and stuff, so let's do a paranormal show. And that's how that goes. I hope I answered your question correctly, by the way.
You did. It was a pretty deep question, but
not at all.
Excellent.
So does your show only about paranormal, or do you do some of your comedy or
I mix my comedy into my paranormal show? I think people take the paranormal way too seriously.
Yes,
there is a cosmic humor about us working our way, like especially in the paranormal community. We spend our lives trying to understand what death and what comes on after this, and then guess what happens? We die anyway.
Right?
There's a level of humor to that, a very big level of humor to that, and then in the different realms of the paranormal and cryptozoology, some of these things we learn in cryptozoology are just absolutely ridiculous. So I incorporate a little bit of humor into what I do, because that's just who I am as a person. So I get that. I mix my comedy in with my paranormal, and but yes, my show is all about the paranormal. I take call-ins. People tell me about their ghostly experiences. I have usually like a piece of lore of the week, and then I do like spooky news of the week too, where I find weird random news articles that have to do with the paranormal or something out there, and then I'll cover that. But so yeah, it's one part comedy, one part paranormal, but everything I tell it's not like a bit. Everything I do, I spend hours researching, or I find great guests like yourself to come on the show. And yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I get that, because I'm not a comedian, but I try to interject as much humor as I can, because for one, it's a defense mechanism, but for two, it's just natural to me. I can't help it. As a medic, even in stressful situations, I try to find some kind of humor in any kind of situation. So, I can see how that works. But I'm not. Somebody tells me, "Hey, tell me a joke." I'm not good at that. So more of a situational thing.
Are you asking me to tell you a joke?
Oh, do you got one?
I can. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Go for it.
What did the shy pebble wish for?
To be a rock star.
Close. It wanted to be a little boulder. Pooch.
Oh.
There you go.
Okay. So much for comedy. All right. Move on to the serious stuff.
I do have another question.
Oh my God! Here she comes. She's been writing things
down.
Listen, if there's one thing in the world I like to do is hear when people ask me questions, because I like the sound of my own voice. So you can ask me. Joking, of course.
Well,
no, you're not. You are.
So the unsolved mysteries kind of sparked your fascination with the paranormal as a kid. Can you kind of take us back to that moment and let us know what part of those segments kind of hooked you to it?
There is two segments that stand out to me from the old Unsolved Mystery days, which thank you for doing your homework on me, by the way, and knowing that Unsolved Mysteries was my where I started at. Look at this one. Unsolved Mysteries, in case people don't know or don't remember the show, I'll give a quick rendition. It was a reenactment true crime show meant to help solve actual true crime cases or misconnections, but not small romantic ones. We're talking long lost family and stuff. But Occasionally, you would get a paranormal story. And there were 2 episodes that always stuck out to me. One was the Chupacabra episode, where they talk about what the Chupacabra is. And I remember being so frightened of that, even though I grew up in Metro Chicago. And we had no goats in Metro Chicago, but I was absolutely terrified of the goat sucker. And and the other one, and this one's, I don't know if you guys ever heard this story
you just
before.
Killed Shauna.
Did I kill? Are you okay, Shauna?
You just killed Shaw.
Holy crap! I didn't mean to kill your co-host already, guys.
I don't know why that's so funny, but just the way he
seriously got a real question, so don't kill her.
Shauna, please don't die. I just met you, and you're pretty cool. You're the one asking me all the questions here. You died, and the other 3 are gonna not know what to do.
I'm butting in.
No, but the other one, there's an episode where they talk about Resurrection Mary, which is the most famous ghost story of Chicago. And I remember I saw the episode and being like, I know that area. You put correlations together. One was my fear of the Chupacabra that was going to be eating goats. And the other was an actual ghost that hung around Chicago, especially on the south side. And that's where I grew up, was on the south end of Indiana, Illinois border, right at the very tip of Indiana, Illinois, and Chicago. So you hear that story and it stuck out to me. It just clicked. So I wanted to learn more about this stuff, so I started diving deeper and learning more. And then there was another ghost story show that came out that was really popular, but you didn't ask me about that yet, so we'll get to that later in the interview. But yeah, that's the Unsolved Mysteries. The 2 was the Chupacabra and the Resurrection Mary episode.
I thought you were going to follow that up when you said, you kind of merged everything together, that you were going to say something about you were going to run an experiment and actually bring a goat up to the cemetery. That's where I thought you were heading. So sorry.
Well, now you see, Ken, that could get me arrested because they're going to wonder what the hell I'm doing with a goat at the cemetery.
It's easy. It's a living lawnmower. That's all you got to tell them. There you go.
I remember one of the paranormal episodes on Unsolved Mysteries about the lady in white. That was one of the ones that I remember as a kid, and then the UFO series.
Yes, UFO stuff.
I never watched any of those things because I thought the paranormal was stupid back then.
And look at you now.
Look at me now.
Look at you now. You're square one on my screen. The guy who says he wasn't into the paranormal, and now was the first screen out of all the screens I look at on this fine podcast.
I didn't believe in the paranormal until 99. So.
Oh my goodness.
Well, don't tell me why, because I'm going to ask you that on my show, which comes on after this. So save your origin stories, everybody.
No, you can ask them. I like the sound of my own voice too, so it worked out.
Just remember, my show is regulated by the FCC, so we can't swear. But
yeah, we try not to swear here. That was my fault.
Yeah, that's her way over there. That's her fault. She potty mouth Shaw.
Potty mouth Shaw.
I'm sorry.
I don't have my tin can to shake tonight. Sorry. That's in the other room.
So we're going to ignore the tin can. Over the years of covering paranormal news and stories, have you noticed any patterns or trends in what people are experiencing or reporting?
Aliens, alien encounters, UFOs, UAPs. The government has just straight up outright and said that they're real at this point. Former President Barack Obama, I just did an episode about this last week. Former President Barack Obama went on a podcast and said aliens are real. And I just, I don't know what more you could possibly say. Like, the more we get into 2026, I'm guessing within the next couple of years, we're going to have full on actual physical contact with these things. Like we're getting really dangerously close to it. And by dangerously, I don't know. I accept my alien overlords at this point.
It'll be group hugs, man. It'll just be group hugs. It'll be all right.
The second they come down and they tell me what are taxes, I'm gone. I'm already on the ship. I'm gone.
Right. I think a lot of the conspiracy theories about the aliens are a little bit more real than people want to admit, especially with Project Blue Book and everything else. Now this is an Enzo thing right here.
Yes.
But with Project Blue Book and everything else that they're coming out with, and going back and seeing and researching into all that to see and hear about what they were doing back then, and to see and hear what's going on now, I think they're already here. They're already implemented. They're just doing their thing. Maybe they're the AI.
Yeah, well,
yeah.
Don't get me started on AI.
Okay, we won't.
We've already started on the AI thing.
Yeah,
it's very possible
we
they've been
began
here
that
for
way.
a very long time, living among
Yeah.
us. Don't know.
Well, I think for the most part, they've probably been teaching everybody for the past 150 or more years. That's why we've jumped so fast, in
Mr. Burns
technology.
Break its legs.
So,
oh my goodness.
Not.
So do you
Well, if nobody has any other questions, I'll ask.
It's like no.
Do you only? I'm guessing you don't only deal with talking about ghosts. It sounds like you deal into or delve into a lot of other areas as well.
So I think of the paranormal, and I use that term as a very broad statement. I think of it as a bowling league, right? There's a lot of teams that bowl on this league, but at the end of the day, it's the same league, just different teams. So you have your ghost stories, you have your cryptozoology, you have your UFOologists, you have your conspiracy theory shows, you got your true crime shows, and topics in general. I don't do a ton of true crime. There's crossover between the two, and when it comes up, I cover it. Conspiracy theories, as much as they're fascinating, I don't cover them because people want to come to my show to escape the world. So I mostly stick to ghost and cryptids and then urban legends. But one of the things that I try to do once a year is I look at modern folklore. So I do like creepypasta readings and like SCP files, stuff like that, because modern lore is so fascinating. So yes, I dive into more than just ghosts, but ghosts and cryptids are my bread and butter.
Okay. So do you go out and do investigating and researching live?
I do. I was just out last Monday. I was supposed to go out this past weekend, but a sinus infection decided to come and take me out. But yeah, I go out. I try to go out at least once a month. I got all my equipment, and I have some really cool people here in Chicagoland, and I also tend to travel and want to go different places while doing my investigating as well. But yes, I do investigations as well, and cryptozoology hunts and all that jazz.
Sorry, I went 12.
Excellent. Oh, that's awesome.
I said, sorry, I went 12. I laughed and said, haha, he said doo-doo.
Oh.
There's some pretty good. I know some people up there that investigating up in the Chicago area, between Chicago and Springfield area a lot. So that's some cool people up that way.
Yes.
I have a question.
Hit me.
Out of all of the different camps that are out there, do you have a favorite?
What's that?
Out of all the different camps, out of all the different, you've got your ghosts, you've got your cryptids,
Oh, cryptids are my favorite. I like a good ghost story, and I am a paranormal investigator at the end of the day and a ghost hunter, but cryptids are so ridiculous. Between our American cryptids and like Japanese yokai stories are like my second pick, because they are ridiculous. There are some of these stories that absolutely make no sense whatsoever. And they are wild. So that's what I would say is my favorite, is cryptids, and then followed by yokai, the Japanese yokai stories.
Very cool.
So there's been a lot of Mothman or winged creatures noted in your area a lot for the past 6 months to a year. Have you chatted about those or witnessed or heard stories?
I have. Over the past 6 months to a year, there have been the sightings. I don't know how many of them I believe, but I can tell you that the ones in like 2012, 2013, 2014, 2015, 2016, those are the ones I know are heftily I believe in because I was one of the witnesses who spotted the 2016 one.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's a pretty interesting tale, I guess, as far as that. But no, I have not witnessed anything in the past 6 months, and if I did, it would I'd be a lot more popular than what I would be right now. I think if I captured a live winged creature and be like, look at this thing, I'm not crazy.
Right.
And then I would let it go because what's that?
You can't leave us hanging. We want to hear your story.
Okay, so I am going to do the same thing I tell everybody to do. There's a documentary called In Search of the Chicago Mothman. It's done by Seth Breedlove and Small Town Monsters. It's a great documentary, and there's this really handsome individual in there who talks about his Mothman encounter at the end of the documentary. That handsome individual is myself, by the way.
I wrote that down.
So I tell everybody to go watch the documentary because they do a really good job like hammering it out, but I'll give you guys like I'll give you the details and please go check it out. So I was working as a nurse at the time for an eye doctor, and I was completely miserable with my life and it wasn't going to end very well. We'll just say it that way. On my ride home, I saw this figure floating above. I don't know how many of you guys ever been out this way, but along Route I-80, there's a rock quarry that's very famous. It reminds you of the Flintstones because you drive and you see the quarry all the way down. Mm-hmm. But floating above the quarry was this thing. It was, if I had to take a guess, anywhere from about 5 to 6 feet tall. It was a grayish brown in color, and it was just kind of hovering. It was floating with its wings in one spot. Excuse me. And I pull over because I see it, and then my car radio turned to static. And I pull over, and it's a decent time of day, so there's traffic on the 80. And there were about 5 other motorists that pulled over because I pulled over to see this thing. And there were about 5 others who did the same with me. And they pull over to go look at this thing. And they were all looking at it. And then it just flies off before any of us could kind of take a picture. And I'm just like, well, I guess we experienced that, right? Yes, we all got back in our cars and we went home. Now, obviously I'm still here and I'm chatting with you guys now. So I call my Mothman sighting a sign because it wasn't much longer after that I really started pursuing paranormal endeavors like hard and research and more investigating. And then Bob After Dark obviously became a thing. So that Mothman sighting was like my wake up call to my true call.
Your awakening.
Yeah, my awakening. You are correct.
Very cool.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
Very cool.
So
Tina's gonna love that story.
She is. Yeah.
So you say along Highway 80, was it closer to Chicago or closer to what is that? Rock.
That's Chicagoland, southeast Chicago.
South area. Okay.
Yep.
Gotcha. Well, I was thinking about Rockford, but okay.
No, Rockford's way northwest.
That's in the center. I thought that was on 80, but yeah. Nope, I know where you're talking about.
In the chat. It says, can you talk about the Dead of Winter investigation?
I certainly can. The Dead of Winter investigation, that's where I met Ken at. It was very funny. Ken and I became really good friends because
you met Beth there too.
I did meet Beth.
Yes.
She's the one that asked the question in the chat.
Right.
Oh, that's fair. I don't have a chat up, so I'm leaving it up to you guys to have the chat tell me what's crack-a-lackin'.
Crack-a-lackin'.
Oh, do you like that?
That's good. I like it. I haven't used it for a couple of weeks.
So Dead of Winter Dead of Winter was a complete and utter, like, I shouldn't. When I say I did it as a mistake, it's not that a mistake that I did it be out of a complete mistake. So I have my brother James. He lives in Peoria, Illinois, and he runs Hiccup Paranormal, Heart of Illinois Center of Phenomena Research. They have a whole thing. But anyway, him and his partner Sylvia Schultz, she's an author. They go and do this thing called Dead of Winter every year. Mm-hmm. And they were like, "Oh, you should come down." I'm like, "Man, that's a hike." Most of my cons I do, like when I'm not booked as a guest, is only within an hour to 2 hour drive. I'm like, this is a hike. But I was just like, you know what? I'm going to do it. And I got invited to do the investigation afterwards, and it was a blast. I got to investigate the second oldest Masonic lodge in Illinois.
Wow.
Which is such a cool thing to say out loud. We did a couple of cool things, like as we were there were two groups going on at the same time. Hiccup was investigating downstairs while the public tour was going on upstairs, and then we just kind of flip-flopped. That way there we didn't get in the way of anybody else of having their good time. But when we were downstairs doing the Estes method, which I don't know if you guys are familiar with Estes method, that's my specialty when it comes to paranormal stuff. I'm very well trained at it, and not to toot my own horn here, but I'm very good at it. We had some pretty interesting responses. I called somebody out in the room for being a practitioner of magic, a witch, if you will. Didn't know them, but I'm just like, "Hey, you're a witch." And I was blindfolded and earmuffed, and they were like, "Oh, thanks for outing me, Bob." I called somebody a very
Good
mean
thing you
name.
weren't alive during the Salem witch trials.
No, well, they would have taken me out too. Trust me, I would have lasted,
all of us.
I would have lasted all 30 seconds because I would have outed myself.
I can almost envision which person you were talking about, but yeah, that was a really cool investigation, though. I think when you guys all came up, your team, and I know you were up there on the stage area playing with a bunch of gadgets, and looked like a couple of Ghostbusters up there with some of their outfits on. But it was kind of cool watching you guys kind of do your magic up there as well.
Oh, well, thank you. My SLS camera died. I literally, all my toys died. That place drained all of my batteries so quick. We had a grid pen die. My SLS died, and I was so excited because I just got my SLS camera back from the shop. And I'm like, I'm going to use this, and it's going to look really cool. I got to scan like 2 rooms, and then it stopped working.
Oh man.
Yeah, I was a disappointed Bob, to say the least.
Oh my God.
I've been a disappointed Bob too.
I'm not a fan of the SLS camera at all. I've not ever seen anything that the SLS camera has ever produced that I've ever made me want to own one of those machines. The
thing with the SLS camera is you got to have it in a certain spot. You can't have it facing a chair, or you can't have it facing, because it can detect like corners. It detects corners as like people. So you have to have it like facing a flat surface.
I've seen it pick up pixelation from the paint in the wall and try to make something out of it. And I'm like, but yeah, I know, because as an ADD person, I see, like, I'll be looking at my door and I'll see a face in it all the time. So I work the same way as an SLS camera. I'm as sensitive as a rock, and but I'm always forever seeing things, and that's what the SLS does. Like, you got to be something here.
Well, now if you have an SLS like paired with, say, like a tripwire or something, and that stick figure is tapping that stick wire, that tripwire, and making it light up, then that's something that you can kind of base something it's there on, because you're not going to get a face from pixelated paint tapping a tripwire. Or
It's a tool basically, so you
yeah,
have to utilize
pair
it.
it with something else.
Yes,
It's a toy.
Well, it's a toy tool.
I'm very skeptical, Bob. I'm sorry.
Oh, listen, that's
you
fine.
can be very skeptical.
And you need to be.
Yeah,
You have to be.
I mean,
every piece of equipment that you use in paranormal investigations is has a potential for being a skeptical toy at the end of the day.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at a spirit box, the thing cycles through radio signals, and you pick up on one thing. It's like, I work in radio. I know how radio signals work. So
I love the spirit box, because when you ask it a question and it actually responds to you and you get like a sentence, that's kind of a different kind of grasp on the spirit box. Because I've had a lot of time where, like when we were at the TB hospital and Ken was with us and it called me, I'm like, do you know who I am? And the only reason I knew it was responding to me is because it called me this name before. And it was like, okay, well, that's great.
But I use it, and it's not really the radio signals, it's the fuzz in between, because I have conversations through the spirit box all the time. I think I've been using it for about 10 years or so. I think I've worn it out.
I don't believe in all this.
It's stopped working. So I carry on conversations using spirit box or something similar to that.
It's almost hypnotizing, and I think that kind of, it gets you into that space to
the obvious, yeah, it does. It really does. And the spirit box to me is like the portal box. I love the portal box. I would love to have one of those, because there's no white noise. All you hear is the voices coming through. But at the same time, like somebody said, Beth talked about the Ovilus. I'm sorry, I'm really skeptical of the Ovilus, because it only has a certain amount of words in it. Now, if it pops up with a word that's not in its dictionary, then yes, I will totally say that there is a spirit there. But I know the one that I have has like 200 words in the dictionary, in its dictionary. And how does a ghost know which? I mean,
one of our team members has one on Border Town, and it has popped words that weren't in the dictionary. And we've got that on voice recorder.
See, that
cool.
is, that is cool. But yeah, I'm skeptical of the Ovilus. I'm skeptical of Adrian. No, I'm just kidding.
I'm skeptical of Adrian. Really, truly am. But, when I first became a paranormal investigator, we started the team back in 2006, and I had a big gas problem, gear acquisition syndrome. if it had now I'm 59, I have a totally different kind of gas issue. But that's another subject for another time. But we had
$2.98 a gallon's worth.
If it had lights, if it made sounds, I wanted it, because it's a ghost thing. And I just after I started investigating, I was lucky enough to be in a haunted location that I could get to, 2 haunted locations that I get to pretty routinely. And I've investigated all seasons, all different kind of weather patterns, and used these things and saw how they just did not work routinely. And so I got to where a video camera to track what we do, a regular still camera just to take pictures. I have gotten a couple of paranormal pictures, if you want to call them that, and my audio recorder. And I got tired. All this other stuff I never carry. I have my EMF detector to look for high EMF, because I do believe that does things. I can see where it might bend the veil a little bit. I don't necessarily believe in portals, but who knows? I mean, none of us really know what it is. There's some people tell you they do, but I don't. I'm more skeptical of them than any kind of ghost.
So Bob, I'm sorry we kind of went off on a big tangent here.
Oh, no worries. My whole life has been one long tangent. So you're totally fine. Trust me.
Oh my God, there's another rabbit hole. Hold on a second. No, you say you're really good at the Estes method. So
Yes.
what device do you use then for the Estes method?
SB11.
That's what I thought. Okay.
Yeah, I just use the Spirit Box as an example. I was talking about paranormal equipment in general.
Gotcha.
Like, if you guys ever get curious and you want to go online and look at the wild west of paranormal equipment, go on eBay. You'll find REM pods where people just shove things in dolls' heads. And
yeah.
REM pods are my favorite because there's no rhyme or reason. It's like I shoved this REM pod into this doll's head and it now glows. And it's like, I have a big fear of dolls. I don't know about the rest of y'all. I don't need that in my life.
The only time I ever seen my team scared was a room full of dolls. So
no,
no, that's a hard no.
And my fans send them to me. My fans legitimately will send me haunted dolls, and I'm like, I don't want this. I get weird fan mail, but the dolls are my favorite. Not really, but
tongue in cheek. Gotcha. So you use an SB11. I use an SB7. So I never really liked the 11, but
I like the 10.
I only got the 11 because I got very lucky. Ghost of St. Augustine was running a deal for their on their clearance stuff, which they called like their used, and it was incredibly discounted, and I was like, oh, I'll take a chance on it. It came in the original packaging, the original instructions, the original foam was in there.
Wow.
The only thing that was wrong was there was a tiny scratch on the back, and it got discounted like $50 because of that. Wow. So that's the only reason I own an SB11 is because I got very lucky on the discount, or I'd be just happy with an SB10 or an SB7.
Oh, that's pretty cool, though. So I'm going to ask Adrian's question. He asked everybody, but I'm going to do it this week. Do you, in Adrian's words, do you classify yourself as being woo-woo? That's his term. So any psychic abilities or any abilities at all?
Well, people ask me if I'm a medium all the time, and I usually answer no. I'm about a double extra large.
Mine was always 4XL. Yeah, there you go.
Okay. Yeah, I think it's showtime for that joke. Yes, it's a hard answer. So I'm an empath, like even outside the realm of paranormal woo-woo stuff. I could walk into a room and I could let you know if you're having a good day or a bad day just by walking in. And man, that took me years to figure out what it was, because it is crippling when you don't turn it on or off.
Right.
So I am an empath. I use it in my paranormal investigations. I don't like to tout about it because it's everybody. I don't know. I don't want to be classified as something, and I don't want to have like a title, but empathic would be what I would say I am. And then I am a channeler. I let things talk through me and with me. And I let things control me as a puppet to kind of communicate with me. That's not something I normally like. I don't lead with that. When I do my investigations, I like to pull out all my toys and try to get through the investigation and try to get science out of the way before I do the woo-woo stuff, which, by the way, A.M.O.K Paranormal needs a "Are You a Woo-Woo" like shirt now, because I would wear
yes
one.
We do.
I've got a lot of shirt ideas, but yeah.
Can you whip that up as a design? I want that as a sticker on my paranormal
I
case.
can.
Yes, I legitimately, truly.
I can.
Thank you.
I designed a shirt at the beginning when we first started this, and asked me if I've ever made it a thing. No, I should have.
No,
but it had like the Wi-Fi tower as an eye, and it says "I am okay."
Oh,
I am okay. I'm a muck.
We are amok. We run amok.
We are all the time.
So let's go to the Wayback Machine. What was your first paranormal experience?
When I was younger, when I was a wee lad, I remember being afraid of the dark. And I couldn't tell you why. I wasn't afraid of the dark because the dark doesn't bother me. And now I prefer it, as you could totally tell in my my home studio. The darker the better. I just prefer it. But I was always afraid of the dark and I couldn't understand why. And when I would sit up at night, I would see these shadows moving around me and making shapes and almost like taunting me in the vicinity. I remember what scared me the most. It was a black figure that appeared in the doorway, and its silhouette looked like a male wearing a coat and a hat. And I remember being 6, maybe. And I don't share this story much because I don't really know what to make of it, because now that I'm in the ripe age of not 6, I understand that matrixing is a thing, and I understand that sometimes you look into a shadow and things make appearances. But I remember seeing that and being like petrified. And like frozen. And I just that's to me when I was younger. I wonder now if what I was experiencing was matrixing shadows, or was I actually seeing shadow people in a very haunted location, and I just never put 2 and 2 together. Because Unsolved Mysteries, I must have missed the episode on shadow people, you know?
Right. That's funny. Yeah,
because I knew it wasn't the chupacabra.
Well, and in TV shows, every time they talk about shadow people, they're wearing hats and they're dangerous. I've never seen a dangerous shadow person, but
I haven't either.
And like over here, somebody just says, everyone loves the Hat Man. I don't know. I think if you're seeing a ghost from like back then, a lot of men wore hats. So I don't think it's too far fetched to say this ghost. I saw this ghost, and of course, during to the way the light is, they just show as a shadow person. Just happen to have a hat. It's not odd to me.
Oh, so I agree.
I know that. But I know there's a whole thing about the Hat Man. I got friends who wrote books about it and stuff like that. And I'm like, okay. But I've seen a lot of shadow people. A lot.
I've seen a shadow person with a hat. I got a picture of him.
Yeah,
it's a guy with a hat. Flat
hat.
Flat hat. Yeah.
Yes.
One quick question.
No. Oh yes.
Have any listeners reached out to tell you that your show helped them make sense of their own unexplained experiences?
Hello, puppers.
Who let the dogs out?
He's rare.
Who has a puppy? I like dogs a lot. Oh, that just made my night.
So does Adrian. Adrian has like tons of them. Come here, Ashram.
Okay. I have 4 chihuahuas.
I've never had anybody reach out and tell me that it may help them made sense. I have had people reach out to me with their metaphysical problems, and sometimes I'm able to answer them and sometimes I can't. I help people make sense of things, but I've never had somebody reach out. That'd be great if somebody ever told me that I made them feel not crazy. I guess that's one of my goals in life, is to, I grew up as a very sensitive kid to paranormal stuff. What's that?
You complete me, Bob.
Thank you, Adrian. That just made my night. You deal with this sort of a thing, especially when it comes to empathy, or it comes to, channeling, whatever it might be. If you don't know what it is, you might think you're, crazy. And I did. And then I started doing some research, and I'm like, other people feel these same things I do. There might be something to this. So maybe, it'd be cool if I could answer that, but no one's ever reached out like that. But maybe that's my new goal in life.
That's cool.
Shauna, you could reach out to me for that. That I'll be waiting forward to your email.
Okay. All right. I'll do that.
Did you get pretty good support growing up with family, friends, neighbors, whatever?
Now is the part where you set up the psychiatrist is in, and I give you a nickel in the cup, right?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, I didn't
Hold
really
on.
talk about it too much though, because I grew up in a Catholic family, and I didn't want to. I didn't, that was
Create
kind of. I don't want to
waves.
say it was a no, but it wasn't something you talked about. If I told my
Not a
dad I
yes,
was seeing,
yes.
hey Dad, I'm seeing ghosts, I don't know how well that would have went. But my parents watched the Unsolved Mysteries, and they supported me on my trek, even like before my dad passed, and my mom's still with us, and she listens every week. I had support with them. Yeah, they, I never really went into it with them, like the stuff I saw, but I know my dad was sensitive. He's always told me about situations he had. He believed it was more angelic than it was spiritual. Mom has her own stuff. I telekinesis and stuff, I believe. But yeah, no, I had support. And my friends growing up, I didn't really talk about that with friends at all. So that wasn't until I became like a teenager and an adult that I'm like, I really like ghosts, because I didn't want to be known as the ghost kid.
Right.
I was already known as the weirdo that was really into horror movies. I didn't need to be the ghost kid too.
That was in the horror movies, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Double
You guys ever
whammy.
see Scream?
No.
Oh yeah.
Randy Meeks, the guy who always knew the horror tropes and worked at the movie store. That was me in high school. So I got to escape being Ghost Boy, and I just got to be Zombie Boy instead.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh.
By the way, I just met all of you with the exception of Ken, and I feel like I've known you guys forever. You guys are great.
We grow on people like mold. We got you got somebody here, Vixie Nye. She said that Bob has a line out the door after a con panel. So I guess you a lot of people tooting your horn for you, saying that you.
Yes, that is my. Vix is my.
Yeah.
She's making me blush here because I wasn't expecting somebody to toot my horn tonight. Thanks, Vix. I appreciate that.
So I got
I do. These days, I have people lined up outside the door, and they'll say nice things. And yeah, I wasn't expecting that. Thanks, Vix, for saying that. You got me. I'm blushing here. Jeez.
Apparently.
Well, one more question for me, and then I'll leave you alone with the questions. Have you ever had a guest or cover a story that generally made you question your own beliefs about the paranormal?
Yes, I have had, and not in the way you expect. I had I did a special on Joe Nickel when he passed away. He wasn't a guest by any means, but I covered his biography, and he was a skeptic. His job in the paranormal, and he loved the paranormal, he was just a skeptic, is he would go into these really famous haunted things and debunk them using science and scientific method and various other things. And he worked with interesting people that made the paranormal make sense. So things like he worked with ventriloquists and magicians to work with how is this wall could be knocking when we're all here? Why is this disembodied voice here? When I did the research on his work, that was as close as I've ever come to being like, oh my God, I am a skeptic. Now and then something else happens. I'm like, oh nope, there I go. I'm right back to believing again. But I do find it fascinating when the skeptics, and there's nothing wrong with being a skeptic, by the way. You have to be.
You have to be in this.
You have to be.
Really
and people give me all crap all the time. They'll be like, oh well, you don't ever give the skeptic's point of view. Yes, I do. What are you talking about? My producer's a skeptic.
That's why we love Adrian, because he is way more skeptical than all of us.
Combined.
So,
my wife and I are with you on an investigation. You witness something, we're like, we tear it apart. We try because we want it to be real. Really do want it to be real. And we've had some phenomenal experiences over the years, but we've also been fooled. And so one time that I failed miserably on something, I was like, they're never gonna catch me on that again. Oh yeah. So I really want to make sure that what we're witnessing or what we have encountered couldn't have been anything but what we thought it was. So
Yeah.
wild.
I will give you an example of skeptic.
4 minutes.
We spent combined over 40 hours within a 6-hour period on.
I still don't believe that picture.
On one photo.
On one folder. Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah.
And
most of us believe it's 90% accurate.
Yep.
So
most of us.
75% of this show.
I can't explain where it came from. I mean, and the skeptics can't explain where it came from.
No.
But
yeah.
Anyway.
They're still skeptical. Okay, so tell us about your show. Tell us where people can find you.
Yes.
Tell us, because you're about to have to head out here in a minute.
Yes, I actually just pinged the chat in the YouTube channel because you guys are about to be live on my show here in about an hour, or whoever's joining.
Yeah.
You guys could check the show out live on that YouTube link because none of you are within the area of listening on the radio. So you guys could learn all about Havoc. Oh my God. Havoc Paranormal. You get to hear some backstories from them in an hour. But if you can't catch the live shows, my podcast is found wherever you listen to great podcasts at YouTube, Spotify, Upcast, Downcast, Meowcast. You can find me on all of that good jazz. And you can find me on TikTok at Bob After Dark. And something I love to do, I play retro spooky video games on Twitch. So twitch.tv. Hello, puppers. Twitch.tv/Bob After Dark plays. And that there's the star of the show. Who needs me?
Right? Isn't he a doll?
He always has to make his appearance.
He does.
Kind of down the last couple of weeks because the other dog passed away. But
I'm really sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
She was old. She lived
Thanks
a long
for bumming us out, Shannon.
I'm sorry.
I'm about to cry for you here.
It's all right.
What do we get?
Bob, we really thank you for coming on the show today.
This has been great.
Yes.
Fun with me because I had fun.
Yeah.
I had a blast.
Is your show live?
My show is 100% live. So
for everybody out there, come join us because we're going to be back on in an hour on that show, and then he gets to ask the questions and we get to answer them. So that'll be a fun time because, like they say, we can like the sound of her voice. Anyhow, thanks Bob for showing up. That's great.
Yeah, absolutely. So search Bob After Dark wherever you find podcasts at, guys. And thank you so much for having A.M.O.K. You guys are wonderful. I'd love to come back again sometime.
We'll have to have you back on.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right, go get ready for the show. We'll join you later. Thanks for coming.
See you guys in a little bit.
You gotta go. See you tomorrow.
Get out. Get away.
You skipped the green room.
Right.
Cool dude.
He said he had to go. That's good.
Yeah, Julie's asking where at. He'll be on, if you go to YouTube, search his channel, Bob After Dark. And we'll be live on there with him in about an hour, about 9 o'clock Central.
Post it where we can, when we can. We get a link, we send it out to everybody.
Oh, hang on.
What do we got? What?
Let me look.
Ooh. What?
Go ahead. I'm
9 o'clock.
9 p.m. Central Standard Time.
Yes. 9 until 10.
What did you say? You said hold on. We're holding on.
Well, because I'm trying to get that. Y'all can talk. I'm just trying to get the YouTube.
So we were watching you work. Who do we got next week?
We have Amanda Coots.
Oh, all right. That's good. That's
I have not met her.
I haven't either. Okay. Yeah.
I haven't either.
Yeah.
I haven't either.
That'll
be interesting.
That'll be a good show because that's Central Kansas Paracon. So
maybe
that'll be a good one.
Maybe I'll do some research and ask some good questions.
Good question.
Yeah.
No. I'm a fly by the seat of my pants kind of guy, so I can't do that.
I come in blind and leave blinder, you know.
Don't forget to go see Pam at her convention she's going to be at this month, and Ken, because they're going to both be at conventions. Which conventions?
It's not a convention. It's Auto Oklahoma that I'll be at.
Okay.
Yeah, in Enid, Oklahoma on March 31st.
You going to have a table, or are you going to be
no,
just meandering about?
We will be meandering, but I'm hard to miss with my chariot. So
yeah.
March 20th through
Speaking
March.
Of good news, I took 6 whole steps today.
Woo-hoo! That's awesome. Congratulations.
Hey, you gotta get ready for that foot race in October.
Like a toddler. Yeah, no kidding.
That is awesome. Yeah,
Obscura. And Ken, where are you going to be at?
I'll be at Obscura Paranormal Conference up in DeKalb, Illinois on October. Try again. March 20th through the 22nd.
Sweet.
A Jenny's thing that she's putting on. Yeah.
See you there, Jenny and Willie. Yep.
See y'all next.
Guys,
bye, guys. See you next
week, and we'll see you in 60.
Yep.
In 60.
Yep.
Exactly
And
right.
in 60. Read it again.
Ghana.
Adrian's, Arkansas.
Ready? Here we go. Here we go.
I can read our own name.
You too.
Go for it.
Western 11, J. Keller, West Sparrows, Nether, Flat, McDick, Jen K, LeClank, Dixon, Chris Members, getting Nick and Doug, Kansas, F, Except, Nowhere, Tiny, Janet, Chris, Michael, Bam,
There's no way.
Debbie, What's Up, Rumpers,
Fluffy, Mama, 420, Eternal, Hollywood, Breezy, Diddy, Goddess, Techno, Larry.
11.
Yeah, okay.